Super Bowl week of Shooting It with Schumann. And before we get to the Super Bowl,
I know we're going to talk about it.
we got to talk about the rise of the 49ers in the underrated star, Mike Schumann.
Right.
Yeah, multiple
Right here.
Multiple
Right
cameos.
here, Mike Schumann.
I was thinking
cameos.
there'd be like the first catch of the championship game or the catch I made. I said, well, at least I'll have that in there. Didn't get in there.
No.
So I was telling Nick earlier, I was like a bit part player in a movie, maybe even an extra.
Let's
in
not
the
sell you
background.
short. Let's not sell you
I go,
short.
oh, there I am. There. So I started getting calls from people. Shoot, I just saw you. So
A lot of good hugs of big players, you know.
Yeah,
You
so,
just getting quick shots in there.
So I'm watching it with my 16-year-old son, and I'm like, we got to watch for 84, man. Like, that's our guy. That's our guy. And so first time they show you coming in after the catch, after the NFC Championship game, and it's big on you, and you're like, woo, fired up in the locker room. That was probably your best. And then there's another one of you, like, running over and jumping on Cooper after the touchdown.
yeah, we did.
And so my son, he goes, Schumann's a vibes guy, Dad. He's a team guy. He's a vibes guy.
I love
Yeah,
that.
Schumann's a vibes guy.
Yeah, it is interesting to see all this. Like, you're thinking, okay, they're going to show this great catch by somebody. Could it be Schumann? No highlights of actual playing time.
No,
But hey,
so anyway, it was for me. It was just like reminiscing. I didn't know what to expect in the first 2 years because Eddie got the team at 30 years old.
Yeah.
We always joke he
Talk
got
a
a
lot
train
about
set
that.
for
Yeah.
Christmas,
Yeah.
and got rid of Joe Thomas. So it was just fun to reminisce. And then at the end, it was kind of sad because Bill, it just kind of was dragged out. After the 79 season, Bill didn't think he could do it because we were in 2-14. He was ready to quit then.
Yeah. Sure.
And he kept getting convinced to stay around to the third one. And later in life, he told me I should have stayed for that fourth one. He handed George Seifert a Super Bowl team.
He was adamant and said that.
Yeah,
Like,
and then-
I left too soon. We would have
Right.
won multiple
But
awards.
like he said, he was president, head of football.
That's
operations,
crazy.
And head coach.
And offensive coordinator.
And offensive
in the
coordinator.
marketing department.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I mean, he
know.
was wearing way too many hats.
And it just wore him down. And I'd love seeing some of those little commercials he was
Yeah,
filming us. in
yeah,
the
yeah.
marketing department.
The big takeaway here, though, some great footage. I think some great interviews with a lot of the guys from the past. I think people were pretty candid in a lot of the stuff too, which was great.
No,
I mean, they were
question.
giving information.
A couple things for me. Number one, I didn't know Dwight Clark had burners like that. Like, he was
Yeah.
his run after the catch.
Yes.
I'm like, man, wait a minute. I thought he was just a big possession
He
guy.
was. He ran probably
But
4.67.
On film, he
But,
was
yeah.
running right past those DBs on
Yeah.
all those ones that they showed anyway.
And we used to joke that because Candlestick, when it rained, was like a quagmire. So there was parts of it that you could take somebody at DB and he would just slow down and you could run away.
Yeah.
So, no, he was.
He had it figured out.
He had
Him
it
on
figured
tape.
out.
He looked great on tape. We talked about it already. The quarterback controversy, like,
insane.
how would that even remotely come close to Like,
it couldn't happen today.
never happened today?
Well, the problem would be is you'd have to pay both those guys so much money
Right.
that you could not even keep the
You
rest
couldn't
of the
account.
That
players,
is
right?
egos now.
Yeah,
Like,
egos
those guys
too.
would just be like, I'm not showing up until you trade me. Both of those guys showed up, dressed. I mean, he was having both of them go in the game
Alternating in and out.
I know.
What
I'd
is
forgotten
happening?
about that too when they were kind of changing up. So
That was
it was just
wild.
insane. And Bill wanted to make the change, but he just had so much loyalty to Joe. I think
Yeah.
it was hard for him to make it. And the only way to do it
Joe
was
was pretty good still, though. Like,
yes.
what are we doing?
Another thing too is to watch those old highlights. The quarterbacks now have no idea how hard these guys got hit back in the day too.
That Jim Burt against the Giants.
Oh my gosh!
Leonard
Joe
Marshall.
Yeah,
Joe
Leonard
Montana.
Marshall.
I mean, he was just a man. Some of those hits that he's taking, like he's got concussions and he's like playing the next game.
No, and he
all this
was
stuff.
he was only 6'2" and 190.
You see him going to the hospital with the sunglasses
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the stretcher.
And back then, nobody ran shotgun.
Yeah.
So as
yeah.
a quarterback, you had to take it from underneath. It's so different to have to drop back, looking down the field. And at that early in the season, guys are coming after him. Whereas sitting back in shotgun, Bill didn't believe in it because he ran a timing offense, 3, 5, 7-step drops.
Yeah, ball should be out.
Joe could have played 10 more years in shotgun.
Yeah.
So, and then I told Nick, it's great that Tom Brady, but I wasn't sure why he
That part
needed
was
to be
odd.
there.
Yeah.
Maybe in the beginning, but I don't need him throughout the whole thing playing catch with Jerry. And And for him to say, I'm a great player because I followed you guys.
Yeah.
Dude, you're a great
Of
player.
course, Tom. We know.
Yeah, exactly.
We had to get the whole story about the foam finger.
Oh, I know.
Who
It was
cares?
like-
Yeah, the Apple cushion
Yeah.
mat that they brought out.
That's when I'd go make another drink while I was watching it.
But so my other takeaway was how good was Ronnie Lott? Oh my God. And what a leader. It was clear that was like the heartbeat of the defense and
No
the leader
question.
of that team.
No.
Ronnie Lott was amazing. Again, watching with my 16-year-old son, he's like, Ronnie Lott, like the hits, the picks. He's like, he was.
And he didn't
was
lead with his
unbelievable.
head. He just ran through you, and he hit you so hard. I mean, when he hit Icky,
I'm surprised
some of those
his
shots of his-
body is holding up so well.
it's not.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And he's got starting to get a little dementia from what I
Does he?
understand. So-
And the
Man.
legendary story where he cut off his pinky
Oh,
finger.
They didn't even show that.
I mean, the
Nah.
crazy thing. And, if you look at another big guy in this, Roger Craig, so it looks like they kind of
Yeah.
revealed he could make the Hall of Fame this
Yeah.
year. They're talking that he's probably going to make it.
I think it's why Belichick didn't make it
Ooh.
because they're going to put Roger in on
in
his
San
last-
Francisco.
in his last
Yeah.
year as a
Yeah.
senior. So
Okay.
Belichick will make it, but I think that's what's happening. I think Roger Craig's getting it. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And he
then-
should be, 1,000, first guy
Yeah.
to do it, so first guy to score 3 touchdowns in a Super Bowl. He was just a phenomenal
He was. He's ahead of his time.
And he was a
Again,
fullback
Another guy ahead of
with-
his time.
player. Wendell Tyler
Right.
as the halfback, so he really didn't get that many carries until.
So we're coming up to Super Bowl week.
Well, hold on. Can Eddie D get the team back? That's all I want to know.
I don't think so. I don't. He said he's been there, done that. He does.
Yeah, only because they haven't offered it to him.
Well, and when
So you
they-
think
I'm
sell it
starting it
back
right
to
now. He didn't sell it to them in the first place. He gave it to him.
no, he just turned it over. They
Give it
switched,
back. Come
Eddie-
on, Denise,
Yeah.
John, Jed,
Yeah.
you guys suck. You haven't done nothing.
Wow.
It's time you give it back to its rightful owner. 5 Super Bowls to 0. You see, when they asked, what would you do if it took 31 years and you hadn't won? You know what his response
I
was?
haven't watched episode 4. I imagine that's in episode 4.
He
No,
said
it was early.
it
have-
wouldn't.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't have happened.
Wouldn't have happened.
I don't know if he could get away with it these days by the money.
You heard it here first.
But-
I'm starting the petition. This is going to go viral. Eddie D is getting the team back.
That's quite the
Well,
situation.
that
How old
is-
is he now? Is he 80
He's
some years old?
80. He's got to be 80.
He looks
He's 10
good.
years older
Yeah.
than
He
I.
looks good.
And no, he said on the later in the viewing, he said, "I've been there, done that. I don't want to go back."
I don't believe him for a second.
Some- Yeah, I don't
Sometimes you got to leave your record and just leave it on the table
Leave it there.
and say, "Hey, listen,
He's got
I did
unfinished
it.
business.
I don't know,
Eddie,
man."
I see you.
And there was
we
some
welcome
truth.
you back with open arms.
He fired Bill probably 5 times.
Yeah.
And it was
part
like that old
crazy.
Seinfeld episode. George got fired. He said, "Just show up Monday. They won't even know." So Bill just kept coming in on Monday.
yeah,
And he said, "Oh, you're still here?" He goes, "Yeah." And Eddie said, "Oh, I was just kidding." So anyway, he was so, I don't want to say hot-headed, but he wanted to win maybe more than anybody in that franchise.
So we talked about this. So the Super Bowl, obviously, this upcoming week in Santa Clara. All the festivities are in San Francisco. Mike, I see all these private events of these old players. Like Raffman. You can go and get signings and stuff like that.
Right.
Where's your money grab here? Are they going to pick you up? Like,
No,
you
well,
go
they
down
have
there
a
and
bunch
get
of
signed?
events. There's an alumni event. So there's several throughout. But I just saw yesterday somebody left the main media station in San Francisco and drove down to the stadium. An hour and 57 minutes. It took
Woo!
them. This is why guys just don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
And a lot of the events they're all over the peninsula. So I thought about one is this all alumni, and I was going to go down to that, but I don't know. It's just a nightmare of the traffic and everything down there. I just-
Dwight Howard and Quavo had a flag football game at Cal.
Yeah,
That's
That'd
what going on.
been
there's,
fun. That'd been
there's
fun.
cigar smoking, there's bourbon drinking, there's everything you want. And had the Niners been in it, I'd have gone down
Yeah.
there all week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because it's not, it's just, it'd be fun to see some old friends. But most of the guys I worked with as a player and in broadcasting are now retired.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of guys for me to see.
Well, I mean, what a great thing for the Super Bowl week. I mean, I still haven't finished it, but I was staying up late last night to watch season 3.
A lot
or
of
episode
things made
3.
both my kids watch.
Yeah, you're like, we're sitting down.
they're
and
now
doing
they're
it.
new fans.
It's probably the best 4 series that I've seen about that whole time. So,
Man.
and it was just, I tell you, I just went back down memory lane and just all the players, the teammates. what we went through. That 81 team was probably the worst of the 5. We talked all year had if this team would have gotten the Super Bowl, it would have been the best story of all 5.
Sure.
Because,
sure.
you look at Marino came in here, and Joe is like, oh, really? Marino's the best quarterback in the league?
Yeah.
Watch this. 88, John Taylor doesn't make a catch the whole game.
That's crazy.
Catches the game winner.
One catch.
One catch the whole game. Jerry's the MVP, and then the last one, So it was just phenomenal. And because they didn't get to the 94, if I recall, did they?
They just touched on it really quick to
Yeah.
say that Steve finally got his.
Oh, that's
Monkey
right,
on the
that's
back.
right.
And Steve
Right,
said,
that's
I
right.
thought they showed Steve with the trophy. He said, I thought this was the first of.
That's right.
More
Steve
to
said
come.
that. He thought, I thought
And
this was my first.
and it was the only not. He said, I thought this was my first.
Yeah.
That was tough. Man, Steve put over the lot to only get one. If you think about it.
Steve had to show so much class through all of this, of waiting to play. And he made a great statement. Everybody came to San Francisco to get the best out of their ability.
Yeah.
And that's what Bill did as a player, all the other coaches. And
He even touched on it that he kind of got hoodwinked a little bit.
yes.
Yes. Bill's like, hey, Joe's breaking
back.
down. He's probably not going to play. And then he gets there and he's like, Joe looks pretty good.
I know. He said that to Bill.
He's like, sometimes this happens. I think
Maybe I
big
should get out
takeaway
of here.
too. I mean, Bill Walsh, although he loved his players and everything like that, man, he was a shark, right? And I think he would cut you
Year
as quick
early
as possible.
rather than a year late.
Yeah, and he absolutely-
In there.
If he could find somebody that he thought was going to be better, like Ronaldo Nehemiah, he would trade a player and get rid of him. But he also, like we've talked about, he wanted you to quit your career a year before instead of a year after.
Sure.
Because, for a guy like me as a receiver, I play too long, that I lose half a step, that's 20 more violent collisions than I usually would get because of that. So he was looking out for, and now I think every player at this point in their career is saying, I'm glad he did do that. Because he told Randy, he says, you got 4 more years in the league, but only 2 here.
Oh.
And Randy's like, what? So that was the first time we had heard about him wanting us to get out of there sooner.
And what he did for his assistant coaches, they even touched on that a little bit, right? Promoting the minority head coaches.
Yeah, he
Got
had
a lot of those guys
and he had a
jobs.
program one. Every year, a minority would come into training camp,
Yeah.
go through camp with us, and get So he was one
his
of the kind
branch
of
coaches
His
that he
coaches.
had.
his
throughout the
tree
league.
is it's just insane.
Yeah, and a lot of really good coaches.
Because
So
Denny Green went on as the black head
Yeah.
coach, Minnesota.
Rhodes and Philly.
Ray Rhodes, Philly.
Yeah.
Ray Bob, we call him.
I mean, think about even Holmgren and Andy Reid.
It's just
and all
insane.
that.
Mike Shanahan.
Yeah.
Mariucci, all
Yeah.
these
It's
guys.
insane.
Yeah.
So, and all head coaches. We just had 10 new ones hired and not one person of color. So that's the big argument.
That's yeah. It doesn't
With
make
this.
sense when the highest percentage of players.
Yeah,
I still
exactly.
don't
Yeah,
get
it's
it.
80%.
So speaking of coaches, the Niners did make a defensive coordinator move here, right? We texted a little bit about this.
Look at the segue on Sid.
Yeah, Raheem Morris comes in for the defense. Obviously, we kind of knew this Robert Saleh thing could be a 1-year situation. I think he did a great job. Got the Tennessee job. I think that's very well deserved. Raheem Morris, obviously, all these things going back to him and Shanahan knew each other very young. Got arrested together, right? He protected him, which I think is a really cool story. And listen, I think it's a great hire for next year for the San Francisco 49ers.
Raheem Morris was Shanahan's receiver coach. Did you know that? I thought that was interesting.
Oh, at Texas?
No, at
At
no. When on the staff.
Oh, the
Yeah,
staff. Okay,
at Washington.
okay.
I thought that was interesting. I go, oh, okay, so that's kind of how they got really close.
Well-
They kind of coached together.
And Kyle likes familiarity with his coaches.
He likes to be friends with his
Right,
coaches.
like Gus
and
Bradley was
trust
on
him.
the staff. He didn't hire Gus. Saleh hired Gus.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he did
you
good.
could tell Bradley was a solid guy
Right.
more than a Shanahan guy.
Right, exactly. So, and as a result, he brings in it. But Raheem is a 3-4 guy.
Yes,
So,
yes,
and
not the
this-
wide 9.
No, and 4-3, we're more built with these tackles,
Yeah.
and so it'll be interesting if he makes the adjustment.
I agree.
or-
That will
because-
be it.
I think they have 4 good linebackers once they get everybody back, but I think Kyle likes familiarity. Like I said, he might want him to stick with the 4-3. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think he got a bad rap in Atlanta this year. Obviously, he's had some coaching changes or coaching positions Raheem has before, and he hasn't worked out. But that Atlanta team looked really good towards the end of the year.
Right.
The Penix thing didn't kind of work out, Cousins, but I think he brings some good energy to the 49ers defense. I think Listen, I think it's a great hire.
I think it's the
good
5th
experience.
defensive coordinator in 5 years.
Yeah.
Saleh, can we name him?
We have-
Nick Sorensen is the one you couldn't name.
We have
Saleh
D'Amico,
twice, D'Amico,
Wilkes.
Wilkes, and Nick Sorensen and
Yeah.
Saleh again.
Yeah.
So, and Wilkes wasn't a friend,
No.
Kyle, and I think that's why that didn't work out. So,
Yeah, but he was also not a scheme fit.
no.
So similar to
Right.
Raheem, where he ran a different scheme, they made Wilkes run the Niner scheme,
Right.
which he didn't do well.
Right.
So that will be the question with Raheem, but I like it. Head coaching experience in Tampa and Atlanta, a lot of DC experience within the division with the Rams. We know we got to beat them, so I like it.
This is great. We've got probably 15 minutes into this podcast, and we haven't even talked about the Super Bowl
On
yet.
the Super
On
Bowl
the
show.
Niners, on the Super Bowl show. But one more thing before we'll get to that. So draft is coming up. I've got a name, KC Kopachan from Texas A&M, wide
Wide receiver.
receiver. Okay.
Conception.
Concepcion.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, I've never been good with names. I'll be the first to admit it. But this is the kid I like, so I'm just throwing that out there right now. Okay.
No, they've got to get somebody. They need some help in a lot of situations. But
Yeah.
wide receiver one is the number one. And
He's a good player.
because we talked about it a couple weeks ago, Juwan Jennings, I'm not sure I bring him back at his age for that kind of money.
Not at the numbers they're throwing out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring
No.
him back at $28 million. a year.
Looks like they got about 40 million roughly in the cap that they're gonna have.
They're going to bump it too.
Well,
Yeah.
The cap's going up to 300.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And they have like this kind of they either you're gonna take a dead hit on Ayuk or they can keep him till I think June 1st and just have about $1 million cap versus 20 million on the cap. So I would imagine they're probably not gonna take that dead money. I don't know, but we'll
Well,
see.
Lynch said he's probably played his last play as a 40.
Well, there's no
Yeah.
doubt. He
Yeah.
will not be. He will not be suiting.
But maybe they can cut him later.
I've never seen anything like it. in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So
All right, so here we are. Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. I couldn't even think about it. New England Patriots. All right, so the Seahawks in this game are favored by 4.5. That line doesn't seem to have moved too much at all.
that's a lot for a Super Bowl.
Stayed at 4.5, and then we got an over/under of 45.5 for this game. So I'm just gonna go out there right away. I'm taking the Seahawks riding this wave. I think obviously the Niners, we wanted them to win, but I think the Seahawks have been one of the better teams all year. So I'm going to take them. I'm going to take the over in this game. That's kind of where I'm going.
What do you think 49er fans generally, do they want Seattle because they beat the 49ers or they're going to
No, we don't want them to win. I'm
And
just thinking I think they're probably
And
the
if you're
better
like
team.
a lot of people, we're just so tired of seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. But, Mike Vrabel, what a year he had first year. He should win Coach of the Year. And so it's going to be very interesting. I'll just say that. But I thought 4.5 was a lot. And you're right, it hadn't wavered from that. So.
Yeah, it's kind of staying. And there's a couple of big bets already in. The mattress guy has already thrown money, I think, at the Patriots for this game. And then there's a guy who I think he had Seattle roughly at like 20-1
at the beginning of the
at
year.
the beginning of the year. He's
Wow.
going $3 million if they pull this off. So
So here's the thing. He's got a prop bet. I saw that. It was like because he had Seattle to, I think it was win the division, win the NFC Championship, and the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's like if he hits all of them, it's like 4.7 million.
Wow.
So he's already won like 1.5. So it's another 3 that he wins. Aren't you betting $1 million on the Patriots?
So you're saying
Hedging. I'm
you're
hedging.
hedging?
I'm hedging.
I'm hedging and
I'm hedging.
yeah, it's just
You could bet the Patriots and have the game come in under 4.5, and you hit both.
Yeah. So you're
Seattle wins by less than 4.5, and
yeah, you can get them both.
So you're taking the points. You're not taking the money line with the
if I'm
Patriots?
that guy,
If you're that
if
guy.
I'm that guy, yes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I
Yes.
think sometimes you gotta. The smart play would definitely be to hedge that bet. He may be a gambler and maybe just thinking,
Yes.
I'm just gonna, ride this out.
He's
But
already up $1 million.
yeah,
Well, I think the whole game's going to come down to the two quarterbacks, which normally it does. But here's two quarterbacks that have never been in this situation.
Sam Darnold has been to a Super Bowl,
With the
didn't play.
49ers. So maybe he should have.
maybe,
But that's going to be interesting. But I think I'm going to stick with Seattle. I have all year. And I like the over, too. Normally, they're so nervous in the Super Bowl, you don't get a lot of points a lot of the times. But unless you're Steve Young and throw 6
Wow.
touchdowns.
You guys are the same.
last year, yeah, we're right. We don't have the Niners to pick now, so
This
Yeah.
has never happened But we're actually all unanimous.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
If I were you guys, I would run to the
Bet on the
Patriots in the
Patriots.
See that
under.
Patriots money line right now.
Patriots in the under is definitely going to hit. All right. But yeah, I see the better team winning. I was actually surprised it didn't open, more than 4.5 for some reason. I think just kind of how the Patriots have won in the playoffs. They have not beat good teams. They just haven't looked great. Like that snow game
Their
just
defense
sucked.
has been pretty solid. Both these defenses have
I
been
know,
solid.
but it was a backup quarterback, and it's just
Yeah.
they C.J. Stroud. I mean, that was probably the worst
Oh,
playoff game
God.
I've ever seen a quarterback play.
Unbelievable.
This is
So,
the
it was just weird.
this is a knock on the Patriots that they've played nobody all year. The schedule was the easiest in the NFL.
That's true. That's true.
I think nothing you could do about that.
No.
Hey, you got to play who you're going to play, but this may be the team that just decides. Listen, you're playing the best team in the league, and Seattle wins.
All right, who's our MVP in this?
Okay,
game?
so we got some prop bets.
I'm sorry.
I got a couple of prop bets that
Okay.
I'm going to kind of
All
throw
right.
out to you guys that I kind of like here. I did some vast research, Mike. You know how I always
Our research team
our
is the
research
best.
team is
All
the
right,
best.
Crack
in the nation.
team.
Yeah, so I like. Okay, a couple I'll just throw out there. JSN over 6.5 receptions. I like that.
Yeah.
An anytime score for Ramondre Stevenson. I like that. That's plus 145. I'm going Gatorade Lime this year. Okay.
I got
With
that.
the-
Yeah.
So
with
let's
the
talk
code.
about the Gatorade for a second.
Okay.
We had about a 5-year run of blue.
I didn't even know this was a bet.
We had about a 5-year run of blue. Then the Chiefs went purple.
Okay.
Out of nowhere, last year, Eagles go back to the trusty lemon lime. I actually am with you. I got lemon lime Gatorade as a repeat,
I
back
think-
to back.
Well, that's all I
You know
drank,
that
so I'd go with
ugly,
that.
that ugly
My
kind of
favorite
weird
as well.
colors that Seattle brings in with the lime. I'm feeling they'll win, and they'll do that lime. So I'm going with that.
That's too much. I didn't even know that was a bet.
Okay, Sam Darnold to throw an interception. I think over. Obviously, it's a half point, so I think that's one there. The largest lead in the game, you could bet at 14.5. Does Seattle get up big in this game, and maybe that could hit? And then
Normally, who scores first in the Super Bowl goes on to win.
yeah,
So, and that's another thing. Who's going to take who's going to take the toss? Win the toss. If I win the toss in the Super Bowl, I'm putting my offense out there first.
Yeah,
with
those are-
inexperience.
I think I read that. I think it's like the last 15 Super Bowls have gone under the first quarter. So
Yeah.
usually the teams come out slow,
Yes,
right? They're
exactly.
feeling
Your
themselves
feelings
out.
that don't want
So
to make
I like a
mistakes.
first quarter and first half under, and then it,
Yeah,
then
that's
it
good.
picks up later. So that wouldn't surprise me either.
Okay, there's two more, and then I think you got some, Nick. I think over under 2.5 to throw a pass in the game. Okay, so that's obviously both the quarterbacks and one other person to throw a pass. I don't know if you guys saw the picture of Cooper Kupp
Yes.
Good
warming
arm.
up a little bit in practice. I like Cooper Kupp throwing a pass in this game, and I also like
He
him
hasn't caught that many, so he might as well throw it.
at 2700 to 1. You can get for him to score 2 touchdowns in the game. So those are my prop bets that I like.
I like Seattle, either defense or special teams to score. That's
Yeah,
a big one.
that's a
You
good
can
bet.
you can get some good action there. You talked about MVP. I'm all in on JSN. You talked about the 6.5. I think that goes over. I think he goes over the 95.5. And JSN at plus 550 MVP. I just think it's one of those where Darnold, has a lot of yards, but maybe a couple picks, and so they give it to the receiver instead of the quarterback.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't know. It seems like this is Darnold's year, so
Yeah.
maybe he ends it with a victory and
I
the
can
MVP.
see that too.
Because like in our Super Bowl, Ray Wershing, the kicker, should have been the MVP.
Wow.
He kicked 4 field goals, and we only scored. Joe ran one in, and then Coop caught that pass. So he really should, but they gave it to Joe.
Yeah, they always give it to typically
Quarterback
the
when in doubt.
You know.
Yeah.
But that's why your odds suck on the QBs,
Yeah.
right? So you got to think outside. Here's another odd one in addition to the Gatorades. So over under on the anthem is right at 2 minutes.
So this is always the thing, the national anthem.
Right at 2
Depends who
minutes.
sings it, right?
So you got Charlie Puth this year. There is
Who is that? Do I
I
know?
don't know.
a little bit of research.
That's
There's a YouTube rendition of him singing the national anthem at 72 seconds.
Wow, that's pretty quick.
That is a fast one.
Is he a recording artist? Okay.
I would assume, Mike.
Yeah,
he's
I
not
know.
you know.
Man, the research department that we have is really good around here. I'll tell you one thing.
They're
I
good.
didn't see him on the Grammys the other night.
I'm going under on the end.
So the key is right with
120.
I've done some research on this, as well, and back in the day. The key is like the home, like when they
the
extend
stretch
out,
it, right.
the stretching out, and then do they also include like the flyover with the where does it end here? But the national anthem is always a fun one because it just start the coin toss and the national anthem start the betting right away.
And that's true because as soon as the anthem's over and those planes fly over, you are as a player, you just want to just go.
And the amount of money bet on the coin toss is over $1 billion.
That's
insane.
Can you believe?
I mean, that's basically you're doing it yourself.
What does that say about the United States?
We
the world?
like betting.
We're gamblers.
What would you call heads or tails when you were out there if you were a captain?
Listen, I'm always
And
a tails.
a lot of coaches will tell the players what to call. It's not up to the player.
That's so.
For what reason? What
I know, it's a 50-50 thing.
Bill
anyway.
Walsh did some, crazy.
Bill Walsh said, "You better take turns."
It's gonna be a
Well,
tail.
our research shows.
What are you? Have you ever called? Have you ever been a captain and called?
In college, I was. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right. What was your go-to?
I called tails.
Okay.
I
All
went
right.
what opposite of what everybody else normally does. So and won the toss. So
All right. So yeah, I'm a tails guy too. I think that, and they also have that big old coin that they do.
Yes.
There's a whole.
and he has to explain which is heads,
yeah,
which is
tails.
tails.
Yeah, with the situation. But
So,
yeah, I mean, okay. Now we haven't even talked about this, but Super Bowl obviously it'll kind of be in the background. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. The best food for the Super Bowl party. What's your pick, Nick? Why don't you start off here?
Your snack setups
Yeah.
here. So I'm gonna go traditional. I gotta have some wings,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Like I like a lemon pepper. I'm more of a dry rub than a really messy, saucy. It just that'll kind of ruin.
did you guys talk last
So,
night about that?
I like-
Great answer for just me coming.
I know.
I think a lot about my
Yeah.
snacks. Okay.
What do
I'm
you
gonna
think?
go
a big
one.
snack guy,
I'm gonna
too.
go one off kilter here, which is a shrimp cocktail. That
Oh,
is
yeah?
really
That's
good,
good.
nice and refreshing.
You know who's a good one of those? Your wife, of course.
Yeah,
But also
yeah.
Eddie.
Eddie.
They do a good shrimp cocktail.
Eddie Bell always.
Yeah.
Mike, you got any?
No, I'm the same thing. I like wing. I don't want to have to sit down and make some. I just want to watch and eat
Yeah,
snacks.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
like the guacamole, the chips.
Got to. Yeah.
Got some wings. And,
The key to a great Super Bowl party is always the nacho chip dip.
Yeah, there you go.
That's key. You got to have that at every party, whether you're watching your weight, whatever the deal is. That's got to be there, right?
Yeah.
And what you got
Give
in
me
there,
some
right?
7-layer too.
Yeah,
I
7-layer.
want a solid.
Yeah.
A lot of
solid-
chip, because then you can eat that pretty much the whole time.
Right.
You don't need a main course. Just kind of a lot of things.
So I think
Going
Super Bowl at the halftime is about when all the resolutions end, right?
Yeah.
People been on a good
That's pretty
diet.
And you
Then
really
you
want to
get to
drink.
drinking.
You want
Yes.
to drink beer. during
Yes,
the Super Bowl.
have
It's
to.
too long to get into the vodka.
Have
Yeah.
All right. What about our halftime show?
Bad Bunny.
He won a bunch of Emmys. The other
Grammys,
night,
yeah.
And had a little bit of a controversial speech. What's it? Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
And everybody's going, "Oh, he's not from America." Well, Puerto Rico is part of America. So
Look at this.
our
Yeah.
research
Great
team.
geographics right there.
Yeah,
Mike.
Crack team.
So it's going to be interesting how that is handled. Is everybody going to leave the stadium and go get something to eat while he does it?
No. So if you've been to a Super Bowl,
Right.
like I have as a spectator, and by the way, I don't know if you know this, Mike, but I did go viral in the crowd once at a game.
I was
pull up
right
the
there.
clip.
I
Doing
was right
what?
there.
So it was the making of the Super Bowl in Miami. They cut to a clip. It was Jay-Z, Joe Montana, Nick Street in that order.
I was there too.
With
Mike.
the tick down.
Don't-
The
Sitting
countdown
in
to
the
the game.
stands?
I was a good vibes guy, similar to you.
Yeah, okay.
I was in the crowd, just getting hyped for the game. You watched the Super Bowl halftime show. I think if you're there, you stay and watch because it's a
Yeah.
performance. At home, I'm probably walking around. I'm taking
Yeah,
a pee.
go
I
get
might.
some-
If it's a
exactly.
nice day, I'm probably throwing the
Right,
ball
right.
outside.
But for the player, the halftime goes on twice as long as
Yeah.
So
That's probably
you're
tough.
sitting in the locker room and they're ready to go. It's, I know we got about 20 more minutes. You're like, what?
Yeah.
So you can almost take a shower, change your uniform.
That's
I think
brutal.
it's not fair to the players
That's
to
brutal.
do that.
And Nick and I were there for the famous halftime where Beyonce shut down the lights in New Orleans.
Lights
I
went
was there. I
out.
was working that game.
Yeah.
And it was funny. No cell phones worked, and I had a BlackBerry, and I refused to give it up because the station wanted to switch over to iPhones. The BlackBerry was the only phone that worked. So I'm calling in a report in the dark, and that, and
It was a weird situation.
and it changed the whole game. Baltimore was leading, and all of a sudden the
yeah.
Niners came
It
back.
allowed the Niners to get momentum.
It really did to come back. So.
But yeah, the halftime show is kind of controversial a lot of times. Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to have some special performers?
I don't know enough of his music to really tell you about what songs. I saw one of the prop bets was, will he do an unreleased song? Again,
he just won.
They're going to be all unreleased to me.
They'll all be new. Both my kids are taking Spanish, so I'll make them
translate,
stick around and watch.
So
educational.
Yeah, I mean, Sunday's Super Bowl probably. I mean, I think. Listen, they finally, I think, have a actual holiday after the Super Bowl. I don't know if it's been regulated or what has happened, but kids have Monday off of school.
Oh, really?
Right, which is really nice.
Yeah.
I thought this should always be a national holiday, at least in the United States, the day after the Super Bowl. So, and
I'd rather have a week off after that than ski week.
Yeah.
So that's actually, my kids had that. So they have to go to school Monday, but then the next week after, they got the whole week
ski
off.
week.
President's week.
Yeah.
And watching all this stuff, the rise of the Niners, us talking about it, I'm sort of getting fired up about it. But it's also, it makes me sad that the Niners didn't get there this year at their home stadium.
I know.
So that's tough.
A big, I don't know if you guys saw that, actually Tom Brady's family won the lottery.
Yeah.
I'm calling BS on
I
that.
don't know about
I'm
that,
calling
right?
BS on that. That'd be the first I'd ever known to
So
win the lotto.
you had mentioned that your family had never won, Nick, but maybe the Brady's had it early in there.
Yeah, Brady's got all the luck.
And every
Just
time Tom
CBD.
would go to the Super Bowl, it was 8 times, I had to go down and interview his dad. So we became good friends. We played golf, so
Right on.
I would just call him and I said, Tom, he goes, oh, God, not again. I said, and you're talking exclusively to me. So no other sportscaster ever got him. So he really did me a solid. So
Yeah, what's he going to
great
bring
guy,
up? New
great
stories.
family. Yeah, great family. He's got 3 daughters, and Tom's sisters are as good, probably better athletes than Tom.
I saw one of his niece was just like a stud softball player at UCLA.
Yeah,
I saw
one of his sisters was too.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's all of a sudden Tom Brady was hosting this thing, the rise of the Niners. Like what?
Well, and guys, this is probably our last podcast.
We're coming back for the draft.
We're coming back for the draft.
Now that we're breaking down receivers, I think that's going to be our next one. Is we're going to break down.
Can you give me that name again? Mel Kiper Jr.
Concepcion
from Texas A&M. So yeah, this will be our last one of the 2026 or 2025-2026 season. We appreciate all the people who have made us viral, subscribe to our channel. We will be back for draft, and it was a great year, guys.
Yeah, go Niners.
It really was. Looking for sponsorships too, so feel free to say hello. So
in the off season.
And after
Go viral.
you told me last week, you checked my Wikipedia and shots of this were on there. So I was like, oh my goodness, we're becoming big time.
You've made it.
I finally made it.
The rise of the Niners. And
we pushed you just over the top.
That's true.
Shooting, it was human.